Wow.
So think about it. So imagine if I say, okay, for example, you see someone fornicating, like, that person is a sinner. Gossip is a sin.
Yes.
It's even attached to witchcraft. That's one of the expression of witchcraft, that you come to someone, bend somebody's mind concerning someone else. That's witchcraft in practice. For example, disobedience is sin.
Well, hey there, if you're watching this video, it means you're about to watch an episode from the Beyond the Response podcast, also known as the BTR podcast, and I assure you it's going to be of great blessings to you. And I encourage you to like, subscribe, and follow this channel on whatever platform you're watching. Share it to your friends, your family, and even your enemy. Yes, even your enemy. I'll see you in the video.
Welcome to Beyond the Response podcast. Well, today we'll be discussing a very key topic titled The Effect of Sin, Guilt, and Condemnation in Relation with Human Behavior. And I'm here today with a man who is my spiritual father. He's a pastor, studied electrical electronics engineering, attended Fruit Mina, he's the founder of Light Bearers, and is married to a woman, emphasis, a woman, named Miss Lydia Agweche. So, with all honor, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you Apostle John David.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a privilege to be here, and I trust God that God will give us the wisdom to bring His word with clarity and even profound understanding. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So, I feel it's good for us to define what sin is, what guilt is, and what condemnation is.
I'm just going to give I'm going to have a theological perspective towards these questions that you're giving to me, so it will be quite simple. Sin is just simply lawlessness, and lawlessness, according to the kingdom, is anything outside of God's will. I don't know if people would have that in mind, because when we talk about sin, most times in our faith, we think of fornication, we think of adultery, but anything that is contrary to God's word is already sin, like missing the mark. Theologians will use the word missing the mark, right? So that's what sin is. For example, worry is sin.
Wow.
I see.
Wow.
As simple as it is, and there are people who indulge in it. Fear is sin, right? Lack of faith is sin, right? Unbelief is sin, right? So there's that concept of sin that people are not mature in.
So please, can we just briefly touch on guilt?
Guilt is an aftermath, is really the effect of sin, right? Guilt is, sin gives birth to guilt. And the reason why guilt exists is because there's something in you telling you that I've missed the mark. It's called the conscience of the human spirit. Right, that you know you've missed the mark. For example, I was doing a little research on sin, particularly at some point some years ago, and one of those documents that I was exposed to was giving like a clear picture, like on how children, maybe young children, they want to do something. For example, if they see their parents, they come to hug their parents. If they want to eat, maybe they pick the spoon to eat. But when they want to do something that is quite sketchy, even at that age, there's something in them telling them that this is wrong. So they hide. Okay, why did you do this? Be like, like, you see. So there's something in them already telling them that, they are missing the mark. So it's the conscience of your human spirit. Like the moment sin comes into manifestation, sin gives birth to guilt, and guilt gives birth to shame.
Wow.
Right? So that's just the protocol.
Then the devil can use that guilt to breed condemnation.
And that's, you see, sin gives birth to guilt, and guilt gives the devil opportunity to build condemnation.
That's good. Wow, that's deep. So please, I'd just like us to clarify. Some people say that they sin unto God, they sin unto man, and they sin unto your own body. Please, can we just clarify that idea?
All those statements, I'm very careful with statements like that because of scripture, right? We have a profound understanding, and the Bible is not quiet about sin. I like to be loud in the areas that the Bible is loud in, and I also like to be quiet in the areas that the Bible is quiet in. That's because of the wisdom that scripture comes with. Sin unto your body, I believe that concept came from Apostle Paul while he was talking about fornication and adultery and all that. But if you check context, if you check the context of what Paul was saying, right, Paul never exalted one sin above the other, right? People think that, right, especially when they read the book of Romans, from Romans chapter 6 down, people think Paul exalted a kind of sin than other sins, but that's not the case. Really, sin is sin unto God. And that's why there is the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. Whatever sin, for example, let me give you an example that will help our understanding. People hate drunkenness. They call it sin or the loss of the flesh, right? And some people are gluttons.
Wow.
You know, it looks safer that you eat. You say, who am I harming, right?
Eat and I cannot get drunk.
Thank you. But gluttony is a sin. Anything outside of control that will not give you the opportunity to have your senses in order is sin.
Wow.
So think about it. So imagine if I say, okay, for example, you see someone fornicating, like, that person is a sinner. Gossip is a sin.
Yes, sir.
It's even attached to witchcraft. That's one of the expression of witchcraft, that you come to someone, bend somebody's mind concerning someone else. That's witchcraft in practice. For example, disobedience is sin. Not knowing your purpose and not living for God, you've missed the mark entirely, right? So if we even say, let's weigh it and say, oh, this sin is more than this sin, the Bible does not give us that opportunity. So we should not even try to mention things that the Bible didn't give us the opportunity to mention, right? While in our society, we separate sin, we put it into different segments, right? There are people who are drunkards, there are people who are prostitutes, there are people who are this and that, but you find out that the Bible does not do that. Sin is sin, right? Sin is sin.
So what's the power of peer influence in terms of leading people to commit sin?
Like there's, whenever God has a plan to transform a people, if you check the culture of what he did with the disciples, he influenced 12 people, right? And at the end of the day, the 12 people influenced other people. And that's the same pattern. We know the devil as someone who perverts, but in depth, people don't think in depth on what that means. When we think of perversion, we are saying that someone sees the methods of God and converts it. And that's what a lie is. A lie is perverted truth. Truth perverted is what a lie is. So what he does is that he also raises people, puts them in a culture, or put them amongst a certain set of people, and they begin to culture them into sin, right? There are some people who were not exposed to some certain things, right? Until, and I have that experience. There are things probably you were not exposed to until you came around some people. Even spiritually, it just brings a kind of result, and that can be positive or negative depending on the kind of associations that you're connected to. So the devil is interested in communities, right? Right, because he will spread faster when his mindset comes on not just an individual but a set of people.
Yes. So I think that's what the Bible was speaking in the book of Psalms chapter 1, that blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of them.
Very true.
So I think your association really matters a whole lot.
It matters a lot, yeah.
So we'll be narrowing down shortly into, we're speaking about 3 specific sins. So the first 2, we'll try to see how it both affect school performances and not even school, affect people in their life performances and also in their homes. So the first we'll be discussing about a sponsor. How great is the effect of porn on people?
Let me just give some little background, because I'm interested in this area a lot because of how it has destroyed many people. Number one, the porn industry is one of the richest industries. You can fact check me. One of the richest industry in the world, and that's because there is demand and there is adequate supply. So the effect of pornography, even beyond being a Christian, I would like to talk about the research that I was exposed to. It's a Harvard research, right? I believe they did their due diligence because of the credibility of the school. There was a research that came up, and they were trying to check the performance of their students. the performance of your students who have been, right, who have left the school and they are doing well. And one of the research that I came across was that the range of the research was from their early 20s to their mid 40s, right? And they were trying to check them, and they checked that those who were not subjected to any sexual addictions like pornography or any other sexual vices did more in terms of becoming professionals and also owning their own companies rather than those who were subjected to sexual addiction. So normally pornography is a distraction in your mind. There's a level of attention your mind needs to bring out good ideas. Pornography is a huge distraction. So I'm not even talking about Christians now. I'm saying that unbelievers know pornography is dangerous. Uh-huh.
So pornography can alter a man's performance to underperform.
That's like, it kills productivity.
Wow.
You can check online that one of the things they tell men to do when they lock in, there's a word we use in our generation. There's a Gen Z language. Lock in means find a place, be serious, pay attention to and separate yourself from distraction. One of the major things you see on the list is no porn.
Wow. So now let's narrow this pornography briefly to homes. How does this affect relationships between spouses?
Because of the idea of porn. Now, the idea of porn as a thing, pornography, is built on lies. And let me just be expressive as possible so that it can help as many people as possible. Sex in marriage and sex in porn are two different things. Sex in porn is a movie. Someone is being paid. That's an actress. That's an actor that you are seeing. So they are being paid to act the way they act. Sex is that's not reality. That's a perverted idea of what sex is. And that's not even a speculation, right? Go and check, do a research on your own, right? I've done some researches in that area, right? And I found out that many of them are sad. Many of them cry after the whole scene, right? And many things happen. Number one, a couple, maybe a man, let me use men for example, maybe get married, especially when the man is used to pornography, then he gets married, then he expects his wife to be a porn star. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
So you can think about that. And she's a human being, she's not a porn star. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's not a porn, she's not an actress, she's your wife, right? Or a woman who is exposed to porn now gets married, she wants her husband to be a porn star. Where did all this thing of sleeping with someone for many hours, your psychology was not even designed for it.
Not built for that.
God did not build it that way. And if you check those porn, I'm trying to be as expressive as possible so that people will not fall into the delusion that that's how it is. If you check all those porn scenes, you probably see porn scenes of many hours, right?
Yes,
it doesn't exist. No human can be like that. God did not design you to be like that. So people have that expectations. They come into marriage and they are disappointed. So porn is one of the major issues that attacks the sexual intimacy of couples.
So it makes people set unrealistic.
It does not even exist. And that's the main damage of porn is not even the activity, is the lie being sold.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in case your spouse is expecting you to do unrealistic things, would the Lord give you understanding? Please, our DM is open. It's open, please.
Sorry. These are questions that I believe those in courtship should ask. Be bold enough to ask, did you have any porn addiction? All those questions are very important, right? So that you can detox the person's mind before they get into marriage. That, this is a lie, right? And you guys can even do research together and find out that these are actresses. They are paid to shout.
True.
They are paid. Like it's money. After they are done, they pay them. Yeah.
So briefly, we'll just be speaking about masturbation. Yeah. So please, what is the effect of masturbation? I heard that it's not only men that really struggle with this. And there's some health researches that come out to prove this fact. That masturbation is healthy for the man.
I think there's a research that I saw. I won't call the name of the man. It's quite popular. I think it's online now. And it was like men have to ejaculate like 21 times in a week, in a month, for the idea is for prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Now he's a doctor, so I believe he has done his own research. Now we are believers. We that's why we learn from what the world is saying psychologically, and also learn from the premise of scripture. What does the Bible say, right? The idea of masturbation internally, right? The reason why it's even more risky, people don't know why. The reason why it's more risky, people don't know why. It's not even the person who is single. I want to attach it to marriage. It's not even the person who is single, right, that is affected per se. Really, like, it's the person is affected, but one of the major reasons men don't get married, you can check it, is because of self-pleasure. Do you get?
Yes, sir.
It's not even just the person practicing it, is the effect on society. People don't have a large, when God says don't do this, right, we usually see it in the aspect of just the individual. We don't see it in a larger frame. For example, one of the major reasons there are men on earth now who are not willing to get married. I know people like that, both in the country and outside of the country. Close people that I know who say, oh, marriage is out of it. And if I ask them, okay, why? They're like, what's the difference? My girlfriend is practically staying with me. What do I want to do? You get what I'm saying, right? Unusual access to sex and self-pleasure I'm even giving just one side effect. I'm not giving the other side effects of distraction and other things. I'm just saying that that's one of the major reasons why God is against it, is that people will not what they should have access to in marriage, they will have access to outside of marriage. So this is a wider view of this topic, right? Because we know the other elementary aspects.
So briefly, we'll just be speaking about sex outside marriage for a round up.
Sex outside marriage has many side effects, right? If I were advised, and I've seen people, there's nobody I've met who had sex outside marriage that would not tell you that, oh, and the problem is that the more you tell people, they'll be like, oh, let me try it first, then you have. But the people who have tried it will tell you. I know a pastor that I respect so much. He said, oh, he's a very powerful pastor. Like, if you can, and you should, leave sex till outside marriage, till when you're married. And the reason is there are many reasons to it. There are many reasons to it. There is emotional connection to it. There is psychological connection to it. There is dissatisfaction to it. There was a couple, I was reading their therapy session. They were dating and they've been having sex for a long period of time. So they got married, and the man was complaining that the woman lost interest. Like, she tried the first 1 year, second year, third year, she just lost interest in sex. And they've been dating for about 4 years. Then plus the marriage, I think it was altogether about 6-7 years altogether. Plus when they were dating, and they met a therapist in their therapy session. I was just reading it, and she was like, not that she doesn't like her husband, but she's not really sexually attracted to her husband. So the therapists were like, did you people stay together before like cohabiting? Yeah. Where people staying together and where people sleeping each other. So that's what happened. So you people is equal to a couple who have been having sex for maybe married for like 7 years. You don't expect, there are things that changes, and they were like, there's nothing they can do for them. The only thing they can do is to manage the whole situation. So the excitement may not be there anymore, right? There's no, apart from the guilt and the shame you feel, but no matter how bold a person is that is into sexual sin, if you check in depth, there's guilt and shame. No matter how they declare, it is there, except you've not been subjected to it before. There's guilt and shame. One of the things when people meet me and they are struggling with this addiction, one of the things they say is that if not for anything, I want to be free because of the shame. That's one of the major things they say. For the guilt, and they lift up their hands to just say, Lord, I worship you. Yeah, the thoughts coming to their mind that are you holy enough? And every young person can relate to what I'm saying, right? The devil will use it to condemn, right? So sex outside marriage has many side effects. And if you are going to eventually get married, especially for men, you men have that sexual, I'm not saying women don't, I'm saying it's more on the side of men with the things that I've seen so far. that men will largely, in their mind, would want to, this person is, comparison just comes into it. And if you are not mature, as a person, you would maybe start disliking your wife or someone else. Like, in fact, there's a couple that I counseled. The guy got married to her. He was exposed to sexual activities with people before, and she was a virgin. So while she was talking to me, she said one of the problems they had in their marriage recently is that it's a couple that I counseled physically. The man was like, he has been with other people, and she's not like the other people. So he was trying to make her like someone he has been with before. So he likes her, but he does not like her in bed.
Because he has tested many waters.
And that guy really tested many waters. And that people don't know is a problem. Especially for men, like it's a big problem. So he's trying to, and she's not those ladies.
She can never be.
She will never be. No two people are the same. So comparison becomes a problem, and this is the problem with sex before marriage. Comparison becomes a problem. It just becomes a problem. Even if you say, "Oh, this new person is better," it's still comparison, and you are still a fool. They that compare themselves to are not white. Even if the new person is better or the new lady is better than the previous person, it's still comparison, and that's where the problem is.
So thank you very much, sir. We are really grateful and honored to have you on this podcast. You're actually going to be the first person that we'll be having such conversations with.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so please, if you find yourself in any of the situations of which we discussed today, please feel free to DM us on any platform, be it TikTok, IG, or whatever platform you are watching it from. Please just feel free to DM us. We are open and we listen, we don't judge, as the saying goes. We only give wise counsel that is backed up by the scriptures. So thank you very much, sir.
God bless you.
Yes,
thank you so much for having me. Thank you.